Reciprocity. What's going on with it? If you like this video, hit the subscribe button. And subscribe button, don't cost you anything. Hit that thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Love to hear from you. You know, the funny thing about politicians, like I always said before, they wrap themselves up around the American flag, stand behind the podium, hold a copy of the Constitution and promise you the world and we'll make it happen if you gotta vote me in. And let me tell you something. Republican and Democrat alike, I don't give a damn what anybody says. Because neither one can keep their word. They've been passing bills like crazy. And also the whole time this communist is trying to destroy the other side with their violent rhetoric, their violent rage, and their voters creating assaults on individual people. And their court judges letting the criminals out on the street. Now, you've heard all this before, right? Well, you know, the funny thing about this is that they're passing bills like crazy. Now, he cannot pass it, he cannot sign a bill unless it gets to his desk. That's the system. But what really gets me is this bill went through a record-breaking speed time. See that? You understand what that says, right? House passes a bill to make daylight saving time permanent. It's been around since back in the 70s. Make it permanent. But we can't get reciprocity to go through. Now, from what I understand, the Federal Concealed Carry Reciprocity proposed primary is the Constitution Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act H.R. 38S 65 would require all states to recognize concealed carry permits or rights from other jurisdictions in trees carry permits like driver's license, allowing legal gun carrier owners to travel nationwide. Beautiful. Current status. The bill has repeatedly advised out. The bill has repeatedly advised out of the House Judiciary Committee with bipartisan support, but faces significant hurdles and remains stalled, closely divided Senate due to opposition from lawmakers on stricter gun law states, Democrats, and Republicans too. Now here in my state it says for residents of Violent, New Jersey, reciprocity legislation would mean that a state which currently has strict may issue laws and does not honor permit issues by any other state would be forced to recognize permits from other states with more blah 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 requirements and the Constitution carried on that. But Democrats don't want it to go through. Republicans don't want to go through. But they ran on it. These damn Republicans all ran on it. The president ran on it. Get it to my desk and I'll sign it. And all these bastards sat up there and made promises that we're going to get it through, we're going to work on it and get it through. They'd shove it back, wasn't done. And they shove this thing back and forth, back and forth. Now we're just not going to deal with it. See, that's the whole thing about politicians. They promise you everything and grant you nothing. Just like communism. Will promise you everything and grant you nothing. And people just don't get it. They don't get it. Democrats want to strip away your constitutional rights. But in the same freaking token, we have a bigger problem. It's not just the Constitution you want to rip out of your hands. They want to ban everything there is. And the Supreme Court's going to, or the courts themselves, are going to tell us that we can ban anything and still stay within the limits of the Second Amendment. Which is BS. That's like saying, we're going to take away the bat, but you can still hit the ball, but and still stay in the game. How the hell does that work? You need the bat to hit the ball. Well, you need a firearm to protect yourself. Politicians are what they are. All they're worried about is BS. I'm sorry, but that's how it goes. Now, I called a couple of times up there and got a lot of yeah, we're working on it, yeah, we're working on it, but it sounds like an old starter engine, it's not working. And that's what these politicians is, yeah, but it's not firing off. Now, you only got 3 months. You got half of July. If you had July, it's half a month. August, September, October. So actually you got August, September, October, November, 4 months. Not counting November. November's when we vote. So this is how what burns me up here. This is why I really don't like politicians. I never did and never will. Because every time Democrats got in office, when I was working in person at the time, I always got laid off. When Republicans were running, I always had a job. Nobody wanted that. Democrats can always they jack up taxes. Then the old saying is, well, you blame this, blame that. Yeah, but wait a minute, you're the one jacked up taxes. The economy's fine the way it is. You jacked up taxes. Now everybody else has to move ahead, but they can't. Everybody's on fixed incomes, or everybody doesn't have a union that can just walk to their boss and sit down and need a raise. It doesn't work that way. Politicians are such liars. I'm sorry, but it's true. And that's, I guess, why they didn't like Donald Trump. He wasn't a liar. There's a lot more to that, I think, that's going on there, but a lot of it is they don't want us to carry a firearm. Period. That's Republican and Democrat. Even though they'll tell you to your face, lie to your face, oh yeah, you need a right to defend yourselves. But I see we get little or no support from them. And I understand now the Supreme Court's there's certain members of the Supreme Court, Barrett, I think her name is, been threatened. When we start threatening the Supreme Court, we have a problem. Democrats want to either remove the Supreme Court, remove the three branches of government, put it all in one government hands. So in other words, they elect themselves in office. They don't need us. Remove the Electoral College. Well, that means you got mob rule. Yeah, it just amazes me. It really does. It should amaze you too. Yeah, there's a lot more going on, and I will definitely agree. It's just like this Iran thing that they were dealing with. Democrats seem to be had no problem giving them money, kissing their backside, give them enriched uranium, and then do what they want. Now we find out they have stockpiles of uranium. Not to run a nuclear plant, but to make weapons. Where are the Democrats? Silent. All we worry about is the banning AR-15. Ban AR-15. We need to ban a semi-automatic firearm. We need to ban this, ban that. There's something to all that banning stuff. Every country who doesn't have the right to own firearms has been literally, their populations have been either slaughtered or enslaved. Can't make that up. Proven fact. Look it up. Yeah, it's a very, very, very sad situation. But reciprocity not going through. We really don't need it because we already got the Second Amendment, but the politicians don't believe in the Second Amendment. But they believe in writing laws against us while they currently violate the law. Whether it be immigration or taxes or whatever it may be. And they thumb their nose up at us. That's why they use Biden to spread their lies about the Tree of Liberty and the Shaker and Fresh Time, Thomas Jefferson. Yeah, they mocked Thomas Jefferson. But the Democrats mocked the entire Founding Fathers, calling them racist and everything else, when they themselves are racist. Can't make this stuff up. And you need cruise missiles. And F-18s if you're going to take on tyrannical government. So they are a tyrannical government. They've already threatened us. This is why they're going to make the move. And a lot of sheriffs, a lot of law enforcement does not want to walk in that doorstep. So what politicians do? They threaten them. That's why politicians want to make a federal law enforcement agency, one law enforcement across the country. When I had the problem. Like I said before, I don't trust these bastards up there. I really don't. That's why I'm an independent voter. I research these people. And some of the people that got up there, they're back and they're just ridiculous. So deal down and keep your friends and family close and do not be afraid to defend yourselves. And I'll leave with this. What can I say? We've been lied to again. November is 4 months away. Got to get the communists out, get some fresh people in there that'll actually work for us. And you take care.